Hey NOLA.com readers, this is Jennifer Lorino, reporter with NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. I am here at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. It's taking place at the Contemporary Arts Center this year, so you might have driven by it as you're going to work this morning. But I figure a lot of you are probably asking, what is New Orleans Entrepreneur Week to begin with? So I thought it might be a good idea to take you inside and do a little tour of the grounds. As a little primer, New Orleans Entrepreneur Week is an annual festival that kind of celebrates entrepreneurship, small businesses in New Orleans, and much of the South. So wanted to take a look inside so you could see and get a feel for what exactly this thing is. And again, we are outside the Contemporary Arts Center on Camp Street, 900 Camp, right by the World War II Museum. I'll flip the camera around and we can see just kind of where we're at. And it's a campus that sprawls a parking lot next to the Contemporary Arts Center, the Contemporary Arts Center itself. So we'll be looking at just what exactly New Orleans Entrepreneur Week is. So let me know if there's any questions or anything. I'll keep an eye on the comments. All right, I'm gonna turn this thing around. Here we are outside of New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. As you can see, kind of the main branded area is next to the Contemporary Arts Center. So if you're driving into downtown and you work downtown and you're driving over from uptown, this is what it looks like, and you've probably seen it. So we're gonna go ahead and walk in through the entrance here and go check it out, see what it's like. So again, we're outside of New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. For those of you who aren't familiar, New Orleans Entrepreneur Week is kind of this annual festival that celebrates business in New Orleans. And we're going in the main tent area. They kind of have it set up as just a social area where people can hang out and talk. Hi, Diana. Gary, you're welcome. I don't know if you can hear me, but landscape is always preferable to the horizontal image, in my opinion. So again, we're at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. This is the main tent, kind of like a lounge area where people can kind of just have lunch and chill and hang out. They have a DJ playing and DJing the scene here. So we'll talk a little bit about who's actually here and what they're actually doing. Let me step out of the noise for a second. A nice little snack bar in case you're hungry. So, in terms of special guests, Keon is asking, there's a lot of speakers, a whole retinue of speakers all this week. They have people from Netflix, Blavity, a few other high-profile tech-type companies. And they are speaking throughout the week. You can check out the schedule online at, I think it's noew.org. But a whole bunch of panels and stuff that have to do with entrepreneurship, building a business, marketing your business, all sorts of things, dealing with the media. It draws people from all over the region, as we've seen over the years. So this is the main tent again. We're gonna move out. Got our NOLA.com tent there. We do have a presence here. A little food truck area for those who are hungry. And again, we're right outside of the World War II Museum, so if that helps you give a frame of reference. Hey Caroline, how are you? Again, readers, this is our NOLA.com tent, so if you ever want swag, there it is. So now we're going to take you inside the actual event space where a lot of the talks are happening. I thought this was a cool little board. They have people talking about and writing in their own resolutions for the week at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week and beyond, I guess. But again, we're going to go inside the event space. This is the Contemporary Art Center. They have multiple different stages where people are talking. They have panels on a range of things, everything from starting a business, some of the pitfalls you can fall into, to marketing your business, raising capital, all sorts of things like that. So let's go on in. It'll be a little quieter. So the first thing we're seeing here is actually a bunch of booths. Most of these are startups that are from New Orleans, and they're here to just demo their product and talk about their service. Pretty basic. Most conventions have the booths, so we'll walk through here.
Alerts for monitor things. Yeah, I work. Oh, okay. All right. Last management skills. One of the biggest things that you don't have at the end of the day is
So again, I'm going to move over to the side. Again, we're at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. We are inside the Contemporary Art Center space that they've kind of converted into a convention space, and this would be similar to the type of booth area that you would see at a convention. It's all startups, most of them, majority of them from New Orleans, just talking to people about what they're doing. So this is a central spot in the CAC space, and we're going to go look at some of the stages now. If you're just joining us, again, this is New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. Hey. We're at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week, taking a look at the space for those of you who are unfamiliar with New Orleans Entrepreneur Week and what it actually means, which I'm sure is still quite a few people. I thought this was a cool area. This is an entrance leading up to one of the stages. And why isn't anyone talking to me, Tina? That's a good question. We have a lot of people out and about doing things, so I thought I'd do a little tour myself. But I can snag a few people talking to me if that's what you want. If you have specific questions, let me know. But this is a little entranceway to one of the stages, and we'll take a closer look. But along the way, they have each of the southern states and how much they have in venture capital, how many startups they have, little facts like that, which I thought was really interesting. So we'll take a closer look. So this is Louisiana. And again, it talks about how much funding there is in deals and major players in the state. Very cool.
When you're a 501c3 like
right, we're gonna go inside one of the speaking spaces. We won't spend a whole bunch of time in there, but I did want to show you what it looks like at the Look Far stage.
Group of leaders and power movers, power shakers, who oversee the success of your project and your organization. As an executive director of a 501c3, you're always working at the behest of that board of directors. And I spell that out for all of us today because one thing we're always doing is thinking about who the board of directors is, who they're made up of. Are they fulfilling all the skill sets we need in order to be successful? And so as an ED of a project here in New Orleans, I'm constantly looking for candidates. And I have to tell you, if I were establishing a 501c3, I would absolutely get one of or all three of these people on my board. Because each of you are bringing a different skill set that a project like Prospect would need to succeed.
There's
So
Florida.
always be thinking about.
So that's the Look Far stage. Again, each stage has a speaker or a set of speakers talking about a specific topic that is business related. Whether that is having to do with a particular industry, marketing, all sorts of business things. So we'll take another look at another stage. Again, they have multiple stages.
So along with maybe volunteering, I find doing something for someone else that has something to do with me. And as a father, I can always find something like that. A husband, sometimes just waiting at a little like, she always wanted me to do that.
This is another talk.
And then I got points, but also I took myself out of that. What am I doing? Oh, I have to do something that really doesn't help.
Right.
That selflessness can help us reconnect with priorities. So whether it's volunteering or doing a nice thing for someone else.
So let's see if we can look. They have all sorts of snacks out here, which I thought was really interesting. All come with a thing. And popcorn.
Yeah, that's
So let's see if we can talk to one of our companies here. Hey y'all, I'm with NOLA.com, the times-picayune. I'm doing a Facebook Live right now and was interested in talking to a few companies about why they're here and what they're doing. Would you guys be interested? I'm doing a Facebook Live right now and I'm talking to companies and people about why they're here and what they're doing. Would you be interested? All right. So go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers who are watching right now.
Is there glare on my face? That bothers me. Is there glare on my face?
Is there glitter on your face?
Glare.
Oh, glare? I don't think so. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jackie Duncan. I'm representing Mike Copeland in medical supply place for the ID Flex Brace, which we are introducing here in Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
It supports patients with IV therapy in hospitals. What makes me different from the other 1,900 devices that are online is mine does have a 15-degree flex to allow for patient comfort.
So what is this for? It's for IV?
IV support for patients who have IVs in their anesthesia space of their arm. And when they're in the hospital, they automatically get their arms, 2 hands, 2 strings, 2 hands to the telephone, 2 signed papers, their arms bent. It occludes the IV. The nurse is resetting the pump. The patient's calling the nurse to reset the pump.
So it's a process.
The nurse is upset, the patient gets frustrated, and all is not well.
Yes.
So this is made to support the IV brace, to hold it in place for the patient, a gentle reminder not to bend the arm.
Interesting. So are you a nurse?
I am a nurse
All
for
right,
48 years,
so you're-
preparing for retirement.
Wow. So this is your next venture, I
This
guess,
is my
huh?
baby.
This is your-
My baby.
So you would rest the arm in like so
Yes,
when
you
you're
rest
getting
the arm in, open as
So-
the elbow to prevent pressures and joint stiffness.
Ah,
That's why it's
wow.
open at the elbow.
Cool. So where are you from?
We are from San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. What brought you to New Orleans Entrepreneur
We
Week?
opened venue here.
Ah, fantastic. Well, welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Have you been getting a lot of interaction?
We have been getting a lot of interaction.
Yeah, you got a nice front table here, so
I
that's
do have,
great.
I think we have a very nice table.
And repeat your name again?
Jackie.
Jackie, and the name of the company?
Mike Copen.
Mike Hopen. Let's go ahead and you guys have, there it is. So Mike Hopen, Jackie with Mike Hopen, all the way from San Antonio here at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. Thank you, Jackie. Have a good one. Enjoy yourselves. No problem. So again, that was a health tech idea from a company in San Antonio. Very traveled far to get here, so that's interesting. See if we can find someone else to talk to. Actually, I'm going to go out to the entertainment space and see if we can find somebody who's just sitting. So again, we're at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week at the Contemporary Arts Center. A lot next to it. You might have seen it as you're commuting to work this morning. Let's go ahead and walk to the Contemporary Arts Center next door where they have more space. So again, they have events in the Ogden across the way there, and then also the Contemporary Arts Center over here. So I'm just gonna take you down that way, and then we'll wrap up our tour of New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. For those of you just joining us, again, we're touring the campus for New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. It is split between a parking lot next to the Contemporary Arts Center, the Contemporary Arts Center itself, and the Ogden Museum. So here's the space inside the Contemporary Arts Center. And they're having speakers in the main theater area. Facebook Live for NOLA.com. Are you running the door here? Is there something going on right now? Standing room only? Okay.
When you open the door, it's going to be a mass of people.
Follow a certain list, you just follow people, just go down the list and figure it out. There's probably 50, 60, 70, 80 different lists of New Orleans influencers or NOLA influencers. That's a really good, even if you don't use Twitter, that's a really good way to use it. Audience is a tool that's really cool that lets you, it's a subscription tool, it's like 30 or 40 bucks a month. But you can search for influencers and it'll give you a nice handy dandy sheet so you don't have to spend hours on Twitter. And Hootsuite, Sprout, they're kind of like platforms that manage everything, but they have tools for this. Follower Wonk is something that's a little more specific to an influencer, and then BuzzSumo is a whole bunch of stuff.
All right, so that was a talk on how to get in touch with social media influencers as a business person, and it was packed, as you can see. Again, we're at New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. We're inside the Contemporary Arts Center where part of the talks are being held. And that is the AOS stage, and we'll walk back out and we'll wrap up our tours. So again, New Orleans Entrepreneur Week, held up every year. It's a festival of sorts, celebrating small business and startups in New Orleans. Anyone can go, it's free. And if you were curious of what it looked like, this is for you. It's a beautiful day outside. The front entrance again. So we just spoke with somebody who's in from San Antonio, was lured by the prospect of meeting people to get their startup for a medical equipment startup up and running. Lots of people from all over the place that are joining and coming into the city for this. We just took a tour of New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. For those of you who are curious as to what exactly it is and what it looks like, I hope you found it useful. And if you want to come out here, again, like I said, it's free. And there's a bunch of panels, speakers from all sorts of companies, Netflix, all sorts of things. We'll be out here. We'll be covering the Netflix thing. But again, here's the tour, and thanks for joining us.